This place is a message, and part of a system of messages. Pay attention to it. Sending this message was important to us. We considered ourselves to be a powerful culture. This place is not a place of honour. No highly esteemed deed is commemorated here. Nothing valued is here. What is here was dangerous and repulsive to us. This message is a warning about danger. The danger is in a particular location. It increases towards the centre. The centre of danger is here, of a particular size and shape below us. The danger is still present in your time as it was in ours. The danger is to the body and it can kill. The form of danger is an emanation of energy. The danger is unleashed only if you substantially disturb this place physically. This place is best shunned and left uninhibited. Imagine the year is 7020, 5,000 years into the future. As part of a distant future society, you and your team stumble across signs while exploring uncharted lands. The signs are difficult to understand, and you spend months researching their possible meanings. The signs were placed there by humans in the late 21st century, but as a warning to radioactive materials buried deep within the ground. Will the warning be understood? Imagine that the signs, whatever form they come in, are presented in English. How can we be sure that future civilizations are able to understand it? We can't. For a start, look at how English has evolved over the last 1200 years, from Old English to Middle English, the modern variant that we now use. What if the signs were designed in such a way that all UN recognised languages were used? It's unlikely that this would work either. These languages are likely to evolve substantially over the course of the next 5,000 years. This is a design problem the Waste Isolation Pilot Plant in Texas has been trying to solve since 1983. And as you can imagine, it's a difficult problem to address given the long periods of time involved. Is there a solution? This has led a number of experts to question if there is indeed a solution. A cross-disciplinary effort involving linguists, archaeologists, anthropologists, material scientists, science fiction writers and futurists to determine a warning system that will be understood. The team currently working on this plan to deliver their final submission by 2028. Let's focus on the work carried out so far and discuss the challenges in addition to language that remain. Pictograms. So we know there's a risk that any form of linguistics will not be understood. What about the addition of pictograms? There might be issues here as well, as even now interpretation of pictograms varies from person to person and location to location. The purpose of pictograms, or iconography as used on the web, is to transcend language or work in conjunction with simple language statements. As a UX designer that has conducted multiple usability tests with participants all over the world, their interpretation is often surprisingly different to my own, especially when the iconography is non-standard and seen for the first time in a novel situation. So neither linguistics nor the use of pictograms are guaranteed to spook future visitors away. What about the actual architecture of the storage solution that houses the nuclear waste? The WIPP shifted their attention to the design of the actual storage facility. Could some sort of information centre be built? But this might again be dependent on future generations' understanding of language and symbolism. One suggestion is to design the actual storage facility in such a way passing wind creates a guttural, howling effect in the hope of creating some deep-rooted Paleolithic fear for those within the building. Vilmos Voigt, author of Suggestions of a Theory Towards Folklore, suggested erecting warning signs using the most used languages of the time, with additional signage that could be updated as years passed. The signs were to be arranged in a concentric pattern around the storage solution. Weirder, more twisted structures were also suggested. Landscapes made out of thorns, fields filled with spikes, spikes bursting through grids, much of which looks exactly like something out of a science fiction movie. The hope here is that it will trigger primitive fears in those that will stumble across it. Generational memory. The theory of generational memory, the passing on of memory or folklore from generation to generation. At this point, enter the atomic priesthood. Consider the messaging of the Catholic Church from the past 2,000 years. A singular God exists that takes interest in individual beings. The Trinity, the divinity of Jesus, has existed from inception, with little deviation from the original message. Could the same be done with an atomic priesthood? The priesthood would exist solely to preserve the myth of radioactivity and the dangers of coming into contact with nuclear waste. Bizarrely, Françoise Bastide and Paulo Fabri suggested altering cats genetically so that they glow green when they get too close to radioactive material, perpetuating the myth of radioactivity through the medium of ray cats. Others too have suggested leaving significant piles of human remains in the area as an ominous reminder of death. Unfortunately, civilization has a history of digging up remains and placing them in places such as museums. This would be unlikely to stop people being curious and exploring the area further. Likely to be a cause for discussion for years to come, there has been no finalised solution for the safe storage of nuclear waste for future generations. I'm of the opinion that a combination of the proposed solutions would probably work best, with greater emphasis on passing the messaging on from generation to generation, but without the help of the atomic priesthood. There is one other possibility: we simply do nothing. The singular problem with the above is that of attention. Its unlikely curiosity will ever diminish, regardless of how much time has passed. People will always be curious. Maybe it's best the nuclear material is buried and forgotten about, with no indicators at all. Occam's razor. The simplest solution is almost always the best. What would you do? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. And please consider subscribing. And as always, stay away from nuclear storage facilities and stay safe.